2018 Leaving Cert Higher Level, question 3, paper 1. Let h of x equal cos 2x. A tangent is drawn to the graph h of x at the point where x is equal to pi over 3. Find the angle the tangent makes with the positive sense of the x-axis. So we know if we differentiate, we'll get the slope of the tangent. And if we get slope, we can find the angle. If you imagine that here's a right angle triangle, if the slope of this is going to be the 3 over 1, and how do we get 3 over 1? Well, that's tan, isn't it? Opposite over adjacent. So the inverse tan of theta will give me the angle, and that's what they're looking for here, the angle the tangent makes with the positive sense of the x-axis. So the first thing we have to do is differentiate. We know that cos goes to minus sine. So we're going to have minus sine 2x. And we'd have to differentiate the angle as well. So that will give me 2. So h prime x is going to be minus 2 sine 2x. So now I can put in my value for x to give me the value of the slope. So h prime pi over 3. Pi over 3 is 60. So it's minus twice the sine of 120 degrees if you want to write it in degree form. It might be a little bit easier than having to change your calculator to radians. So the sine of 120 is minus root 3 over 2. Because it's in this sector, the sine of 120, to get it 120, that would have to be 60. That would leave 120. So the sine of 60 is root 3 over 2. So the sine of 120, this one would have to be root 3 over 2 too. And sine is positive in here. So minus twice root 3 over 2, which is minus root 3. And the inverse tan of minus root 3 is equal to the inverse tan of root 3 will also give me 60. I should have written minus root 3 would give me the 120, but let's get the inverse tan of root 3 would give me the 60. And the positive sense of the x-axis is all the way along here, so the angle is above rather than below this line. So the inverse tan of minus root 3 is 120 degrees, and that's the answer to the first part. Because if we draw our 60 degrees to give us our angle, because we know tan is negative in here because sine is the only positive one, then your angle is the 120 here. So you can use your calculator or do it with the circle. So here we're asked to find the average value of h of x over the interval 0 is less than or equal to x less than or equal to pi over 4, and give your answer in terms of pi. We know, because you guys are brilliant at integrating, the average value is 1 over b minus a by the differentiated, not the differentiated, the integrated, of course, the integrated function. So let's just, what was our function? Our function was cos 2x. So it's going to be 1 over, now b is always the bigger number, pi over 4 minus 0 by the integrated cos 2x. And cos ax goes to, when we integrate it, 1 over a sine ax. So this is going to give me 1, well, we can simplify the left hand side here, 1 over pi over 4, the bottom fraction comes up and turns upside down, so we're going to get 4 over pi outside it, and when we integrate it, we're going to get 1 over 2 sine 2x. So that will give me 4 over pi by the sine of 2x over 2. Between, I maybe do a bigger bracket here, between the interval, what was our interval, pi over 4 to 0, pi over 4 down to 0. pi over 4 is 45 degrees. So twice 45, we're looking at the sine of 90. So 4 over pi times the sine of 90 divided by 2 minus the sine of 0 divided by 2. So we're going to get 4 over pi. Sine of 90 is 1. So 4 over pi by 1 over 2. The sine of 0 is 0. So this guy gets eliminated. And we're left with 4 over 2 pi, which is equal to 2 over pi.